Hello, everybody. It's Ken Faulkner, fresh back from CCKS. If you don't know what that stands for, it's California Custom Knife Show. Happens twice a year in California, um, Woodland Hills. It's about an hour to an hour and a half drive, depending on traffic, for me. But yeah, it's something that I went to first time last year, and yeah, it's kind of dangerous and kind of not in some ways because of the fact that there's only about maybe 50-ish people presenting knives, so there's not it's you're not like Blade Show. Even Blade Show West is bigger. I haven't been to Texas yet. I'm hoping to do that this year, but so this is much smaller, but it tends to be in general more high end knives, more custom knives. California Custom Knife Show. That's what it. But not everything's a custom knife, obviously. Well, I'll tell you, it's not all custom knives. And anyway, I went there and I had an expectation on one knife to get. I ended up buying four. I'll be doing videos on all of them, because that's what I do. I like them all. They're all really good ones. This one I totally did not expect to buy. And I'd kind of looked at who was there. I saw, some of the people, but I had a couple that I was intending to look at. And I was thinking about Tactile Turn, looking at a Maverick, and I didn't even see them for some reason. I was talking to somebody else. They said they were there, and I must have walked by. I can do this at shows. I can walk by over and over and pass the booth I'm looking for and not see it. Crazy. But I had already bought one knife, and then I was looking around, and I had a couple that I was thinking about because I don't, unless I'm planning to buy it right away, I don't want to go there or go and buy the next one I see that I like because you got to kind of see everything that's there. Otherwise, you run out of money, and then there you are without money, and you got another knife that you want to get. So this box has the bear. And if you don't know about the bear, it doesn't really say the name on it anywhere. It is Quantum. They called it the Quantum series, the Ursus. I really hadn't. I mean, this is a company that I had on my list that I wanted to buy from, and the company is. Let's see if I can pronounce it correctly. Shirogorov. Shirogorov. I think that's pretty good. So for years I've kind of on and off thought about getting him, and might as well get the knife out so you don't have to just listen to me talk. Oh, there's my oven preheating. If you heard that in the background, I'm gonna make it kind of a quick video. Get a little cloth with a little bear on there, and we got a little bit of the card here. And we got a little sticker here and a little troll stuff. This is like, again, the little bear. Probably goes on like a window of your car or something like that. Anyway, here it is. So it is a Shirogorov knife. They're made in Russia. And is the Quantum Ursus, is a Chromax steel. It's Chromax PM. So that's a new one to me, guys. I don't think I've ever heard of it before. Titanium handle, pivot system is MRBS, and I'm not really sure what that stands for. I'm not a Shirogorov connoisseur. Then the serial number. So that's what it is. It's a pretty simple little box. I mean, there's not much to it and not a lot going on here, and just very basic. And but the knife, you can kind of tell by looking at it if you've seen them before. It's got that look. It's got that look. And let's get the blade out. Action is amazing. So everybody talks about the action, and I've handled them before, but even at shows you get a feel for it, but you really don't know until you've had them for a while. and played with it for a while and let it break in, all that kind of thing. This one's a pretty plain one, and actually, looking at knowing what they normally cost, and I'm usually thinking a Shirogorov is going to go for around $1,000. This one was there for $625, and yeah, I that threw me off. I just didn't think that they had knives, so I guess, funny as it is to say, this is a budget Shirogorov. My budget range on this knife is $625. But considering that you can see them, and I was looking at the website here, and some of the fancier ones are upward in the range of $1,150, that sort of thing. That tends to be basically where you are. They got a couple at in the $800 range. And I think if it was the $800 range when I saw it, I would have passed it by. I would have just not even thought twice. And it took me a minute to really decide to do it, but it didn't take very long. And I ended up doing an impulse buy on a $600 knife. Mainly because what I do when I'm going to go to a show is I start stashing away cash. Cash is king at these shows for the most part. And I stash away cash and I just kind of let it build up. I don't really pay attention to how much I have. I didn't go to Blade Show West this year, so I had that cash set aside for that show. And really at Blade Show West, I would have probably come home with twice as many knives, at least, and spent probably twice as much money. So I got a bargain. Only spent, well, I won't tell you how much I spent. You could probably add it up when you see all the knives. 4 knives, and probably the next 4 videos, including this one. So anyway, it's got that pivot with the kind of that flathead sort of Shirogorov look, and even the smaller body screws have that. This one looks like it is a old-fashioned Torx, but then they have the 2 flatheads here. So really, the exciting thing about this, because it is a flipper only, and so I'm kind of glad that I found the budget one first to try it out, but I'm also having this budget one in my hand, realizing just how true it is that the action on this is just so smooth. I'm not sure. So the MRBS, I guess BS would be bearing system, multi-row bearing system. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because this feels like multi-row. Not only is it very smooth, but it also is very stable, very sturdy. There's no play. And it is centered because there's not a whole lot of room to go off center on this thing. It's just well machined. It's got these cool little is that like the it's almost like a barrel spacer, but it's just like a rod there, and it just barely gives enough room to cover up the tip of that blade because it's right back behind it. And I guess if they didn't have that there, you might possibly grab your skin. So your blade to handle ratio is about as much as you can possibly have. If you look at it when it's barely, kind of get it open this way, barely open, it's coming down right at the end there. Right at the end. So there's hardly any room, and it's almost like a little cage that keeps you safe. And then there's a big barrel right here where that one body screw is. And I don't know if this one, yeah, it's got a little pocketing in there, a little milling. But yeah, it's just well made. It's a plain handle. They had some with some inlays in it, but I just went with a plain tie. I'm not so much into the flashy colors. Main thing I'm looking for in knives is just quality. It's such good quality. It's just so smooth. As much as something like a Chris Reeve, where you're pretty much having to slow roll it, at least at first. This thing is just buttery smooth. So anyway, I'm experiencing it and I'm loving it. And yeah, $600 for a knife. I know not many can spring that kind of money to buy one knife with, but in reality, when you go to this California Custom Knife Show, and you'll see this also at the other shows, blade shows and such, that there's these $2,000 and $3,000 knives. They had Borka blades, had some incredible custom knives there, and my heartstrings and my mind is just like reeling over the possibility of spending that much money, but the possibility of actually having one of those knives in my possession kind of scares me that I actually think about that stuff. And it may never happen, but then it may. I'm definitely not going to say it's impossible. But here I am with another first time of a new brand that I've wanted for years, and I have it in my possession thanks to CCKS this weekend. And yeah, great thing about it is I get to show it to you guys. Quantum Ursus Shirogorov. Great action. I can only imagine what the $1,000 ones are like. And if I keep loving this as much as I do, it's got a nice little flipper. If you're going to have only a flipper, it should be a good flipper. It works so well. And then when it's down here, it doesn't stick out too much. But it definitely gives you the jimping that you want. It grabs really well. And so it's not hard to flick. Like some of the really small flipper tabs will be difficult, but this one is not a problem. Then you got some jimping up here. Not so grabby as the ones down here, but then you also get it kind of grabbing your finger a little bit for that good grip. It's got great ergos. I mean, I love a curved handle like that, curving down. It kind of makes the blade kind of come down into the cut as you're holding it like this. And I always like that. It's almost like, I don't know what you would call this, but I'm kind of calling a trailing point blade. Excellent crown. I mean, just excellent. It just feels so nice and smooth. And it cuts amazingly. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of the trailing point, but it's such a subtle one that really that tip is almost just slightly above the pivot in line with the knife. So yeah, I mean, right now I'm super happy that I impulse bought this knife. And anyway, that's it, guys. I'm gonna let it go. I gotta go cook dinner. I got a couple more videos coming up. Maybe, I don't know if I'll get to them this week or next weekend. I'm excited to show you some of these other knives I got. Very cool, very fun. So I will see you on that next one. Bye.